Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how you can add some effects to images that you have on your pages and also to text frames that you may have on your pages as well. So this can really make your pages come alive by adding some simple effects to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this top image up here, and of course one of the first things that I can do to it is add a stroke effect. Now a stroke effect is like a border that goes around the outside of your image. So if I click here I can come and choose, say for example, this orange colour, and straight away that will put an orange border around there. It's very thin at the moment, but I can increase the weight of that border so you can now clearly see that this image has a frame around it, this orange frame. You can also then go and add border radius to this. So if you wanted it to be rounded off on all the corners, then you can check all of these four edges to be rounded, and then when you apply some rounding to those corners, you create a nice rounded image effect. So very simple to do. One other thing that we can do here as well is that if I click back on that one, I might say that actually I don't want that corner or that corner to be rounded, and then you can end up with this kind of look as well, where you have just two corners that are rounded off. You can also go on and apply effects to your image as well. So you could go on here and you could say I want a shadow, and that applies a nice drop shadow on there. You've got lots of options here that you can change the drop shadow. You could change the color of it, you could change the angle or the distance of that drop shadow. You could go on and add a bit of bevel emboss. So adding a bit of bevel gives a sort of a 3D look to your images, make sure they stand up off the page. And of course you could go on and add an outer glow as well around your image, and you would need to change the glow color in this case. So if we go for red, you'll be able to see that we've got a nice glow color going around the outside. Not so obvious if you've got your shadow on, so let's take the shadow off, and you can just start to see that red glow that I've selected here around the outside. And we can increase that if we wanted to add more glow to there. I'm going to take the glow off and I'm just going to leave the shadow on. So at the moment I've got a stroke effect, I've got a nice shadow going on, and I've got some border radius going on as well. Now I want that same style that I've created here applied to this image, and I want it also applied to these text areas. So the same things that I've done to this image, such as a stroke, such as a drop shadow, such as the rounding of the corners, you can also do that to text frames. You can do all those same things here. But I've created this style now and I want to apply it to all these others. Well, this is where your graphic styles panel window comes in. So what I'm going to do here is open up the graphic styles panel window. I've got the image selected that has graphic styles that I've created applied to it, and I'm just going to create a new graphic style based on this, and I'm going to rename that as orange border style, and I'm going to click OK. Now what I can do is I can come to other elements on my page, such as this image here, and apply the orange border style, and it will give it the exact same settings. Come to my text areas and I can give them orange border styles as well. So you can see how quick and easy it is to add in these kind of effects to all of the elements on your pages, and you could create several different kinds of styles. So maybe that on this text area you don't want the same look as what you've got here, so you could go back and say none for that, none for that, and then you could create your own kind of effects individually for these. Just one thing to note is that when you do apply a border and these curved border radiuses to your text, you'll find that the text sits right up against the edge of the box. So once you put a border on, you'll see the border, the text looks right like it's right next to it. You may even end up with corners being cut off for the text and all that kind of stuff going on. Well, one thing that you can do there is that you can change and alter the spacing that you have within inside of your text area. Now if you can't see the spacing panel window, you can go to the window menu to access it. But when I go to the spacing panel window, I've got my chain link on, which means that all of the settings are going to change as I change one of them. So if I increase the spacing, what you'll see here is that it forces the text, I just move this one out of the way now, it forces the text to be away from the edge of the border. So any issues that you occur, you can easily fix by using this spacing where the text is too close to border edges. But there's some really nice effects available there in Adobe Muse, and you can apply them to your images and to your text frames and to rectangles and content that you've added to your pages. Remember though, using graphic styles is really important. If you want to maintain consistency across several pages, you can apply the same style to all of your images if you've created this graphic style.